spaceship. Outer space, outer world, outer galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a Terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Yeah. Find me with my dogs in my solitude. Watch my family grow from 4 into a multitude. Been living it below sea level, finna rise to another altitude. Been searching, seeking knowledge, but all the time I had the aptitude. I flipped my mindset to the switch to say I will not lose. Mama said them sticks and stones won't break my bones, I never bruise. Whenever it come to trouble, man, the girls pull a tongue, we always cruise. I heard other dog owners get it out for me, but it ain't no news. I got 4 in the dough in Memphis so they can get the blues. If you need a few clues that blow off your under rules, send your compliment to the new girls I got coming through. Send your compliments to the new girls I got coming through. Outer space, outer world, outer galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a Terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Outer space, outer world, outer galaxy with a different girl. Outer space, outer world, outer galaxy with a different girl. Outer space, outer world, outer galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Jedi King Hefner and the beautiful Asuna Moon. And we're back again for another show, baby. Back in the house. And the title of this show is Why You Shouldn't Spend All of Your Time with Your Human Mate. I promise you, man. Hey, look, it sounds very simple. But man, people overdo this all the time, spending too much time with your human mate. Now, if you're on this side of things like me, on the companion dog side of things, this is not something that you really have to worry about per se. And that's sort of another reason I'm bringing this up, not to sort of stump on human relationships, but hey, I'm pointing out something that, will keep your human relationship a bit healthier. But it's also a bit funny because I don't really have that problem in this lifestyle because I can spend as much time with my mates as I want to, and they're not going to get pissed off, or not necessarily pissed off, but it's not going to cause friction in the long run. But before we get too far into this subject, I want to say God bless everybody that's watching. Thank you for watching wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I appreciate you tuning in. If you're live, thank you. We appreciate you. And if you're tuning in later, we appreciate you also, because we do notice how the numbers rise after a live stream, meaning that people are watching after a live stream has already aired. And I appreciate each and every one of you for going back and watching the show. We also always say God is blessing you and providing you with whatever you need, whether that's finances, new relationships, a raise on a job, health, whatever it is. We're thanking God that you already got it. So without the preliminaries out of the way, I'm going to check with my comments right quick. I think I got one. A couple of them. Ataya Barclay, one of my great viewers, checking in early. Good to see you, Ataya, the beautiful Ataya. Then we got Stingray checking in. What up, Stingray? Good to see you, brother. He says, here, JDKH. Taya says, Showtime, baby. Stingray says, in the Netherlands, watching you, Jay. Thanks for the morning show. God bless. Man, Stingray, God bless you, man. Let me put that up there. The reason I'm putting this up there is because, man, I'm just glad Stingray said that. I do know that I got people over the world that, you know, tune into the show or whatever. But at the same time, you never know who's watching and when. So when I do this super duper early show for the United States, I know, once again, I was talking to my mom about this. I know a lot of people are asleep, just waking up. Some people still having sex early in the morning. All type of stuff is happening. But like I was telling her, I said, you know what? I still do this show because, I mean, you know, at this time of the day, because, man, I know what it feels like to be searching the net late at night, you know, can't sleep, you know, looking for something to watch and, you know, keep you entertained at least for a little while. And then not only that, uh, yeah, it may be early in the morning here, but just like Stingray said, man, it's different times all around the world. And man, it's evening for somebody, afternoon for somebody, you know. So it's good to just be available for people in different time zones everywhere. And like you say, hey, you know, my US friends, they can catch me as well. Uh, you know, after they make love, they may want to stay up a little long and check out the show. So wherever you are, God bless you. Stingray says, God bless. Thank you, Stingray. Power Brain in the house. What up, Jay? What up, Power Brain? So, oh yeah, before we get too deep, you can always hit that like button, subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Hey, share, spread the word, all those good things. So, the subject of today's show, why you shouldn't spend all of your time with your human mate. Man, let me tell you something. Once again, a clear example of how I continue to pull these things as far as letting subjects get in the way of other playing shows. You know, I think what happens is, you know, I know I'm going to be doing so many shows. So when some of these little juicy topics pop up in my head, I can't resist it sometimes. And as I was stating at first, this subject is relevant to the dog game because, you know, it's just one of those in a good way, because it's one of those things you don't have to even worry about when you're in a dog game. You don't have to worry about spending too much time with your dog. I remember, like I say, I even remember dating some women, and man, I'm just uh like I said, I really love to sort of attend to my women as far as like, you know, hey, you know, some of my women just love me being affectionate and just, you know, attending to them or whatever. And some women don't like affection and you to, you know, attend to them in a certain way. And I tend to stay away from those type of women. I like women who love affection. But with all that said, you really have to know what type of woman you're dealing with, and vice versa. A woman has to know what type of man she's dealing with and, you know, act accordingly. But I tell you what, I only brought that up to say, just like you can be too affectionate or whatever, you know, it's just like anything else. You can spend way too much time with your woman. I've said this before. Human men and human women spend too much time talking to each other. You know, communication is emphasized in relationships, but sometimes it's too much time with each other. You got to give each other a chance to breathe, uh, so the relationship can really grow. It's a concept I'm gonna talk about on one of my Reset Sundays in the future, but uh, it's even one that seems mysterious to me. The idea of pruning, meaning that you cut trees back a little bit. Uh, every now and then, you have to cut them back a little bit to keep them healthy, so that, you know, the branches and stuff will grow the right way. And it's sort of the same thing relationship with human to human relationships. Yes, I know you're intoxicated, you're in love, and man, you get to smelling that human vagina. You don't want to leave, and she guess what? She get to smelling your scents. Believe me, man, they don't be wanting to leave neither. And it's really bad at the beginning of relationships where you just don't ever want to leave each other's presence. And next thing you know, one or two of you both are burnt out. And it's because you didn't do the pruning exercise of, hey, sometimes you got to just step back, man. I know you be thinking it loud, man, if I take a step back, oh man, we gonna lose time. We gonna nah. Taking a step back allows the relationship to breathe, and it keeps everything healthy, and it keeps a healthy amount of anticipation in the relationship. Where hey, you're looking forward to seeing that person again. Because I've done both, and I'm letting you know, it's a little harder to put the space in between, but it's best to put the space in between because I've been the one that, doesn't get tired of being around somebody. They may get a little tired of being around me or whatever. And I've been around people who they didn't get tired of being around me. And hey, guess what? I may have got tired of being around them. Or then once again, you run across a scenario where both of you guys are just like, hey, this getting stale. And it all comes from not giving each other enough space. We still need space to be creative. We still need space to breathe, do our own thing. And at the time, you won't notice it. Well, of course, you guys know I'm really, it's crazy, man, how when you embrace things, the wrong things in your life, you start, not wrong things, but when you embrace things that even come against you in your life and keep on pushing, adopt a positive attitude, and hey, never quit mentality. You end up stumbling across old dreams, new dreams, and things like that. And one of the things that has happened to me recently was when I lost my car months ago, and I started having to ride my bike, and luckily I had it. It was a blessing, thank God. But man, I've always loved riding my bike, like I said. But man, it's awakened new dreams in me, things that I want to do in the future, adventures and stuff like that. And I've been watching a lot of more biking things on YouTube, following different people. And one of the guys I ran across that I like, he a cool guy, man. He a cool guy, dude named Ryan Van Duzer. Uh, he's taught me a lot just from watching him and stuff like that. And he really reminds me a lot of myself a little bit, not a whole bunch, but I'm just saying, like, I like his positive attitude. Now he does get down and stuff sometimes, but that's all right though. He human. I mean, we all human. We don't all have to know the exact same lessons in life and do the exact same things. But I love his positive spirit. But one of the things about him is I noticed something happening on his channel, and it sparked this particular show. So before I go any further, let me go ahead and give a few disclaimers out here. By being a guy, I'm not trying to get all up into anybody else's, especially a male guy, a male's relationship. I'm not trying to break somebody's relationship down a million to the millionth degree. I do respect people's privacy, relationships, and all that type of stuff. So I ain't trying to go deep and make my whole show about him. Only thing I'm bringing him up for is because what has happened to him on his channel is basically a microcosm of what happens to a whole bunch of people as far as just spending too much time with your mate. So that's why I'm bringing it up. So I'm not going to do a deep dive all into his. If you want to go check his channel out, which I do, if you like bikes, you can go check out Ryan Van Duzer, subscribe to him. He a cool guy. So I ain't trying to, dudes, if you see this, I'm not trying to come down on you or beat you up, talk about you, nothing like that. But this is just more or less a a lesson for people out there, not necessarily a lesson, but just something for them to go by in their life, something for them to look out for. That's all this is. And I would say this, it makes it a little easier to sort of do a piece on, using dudes or other YouTube people when I do talk, because whatever we put on YouTube, it's already out there for public consumption. That's the whole thing. It's already out there. So, I've had people talk about things I've said or whatever. I haven't really seen them because I don't look for it or whatever, but I know it's happened. And it doesn't bother me. Why? Because I do a lot of talking on the internet. So hey, guess what? Somebody may have a discussion about it. And we've actually seen some people do it. Like Cinnamon Toast Ken did it recently. And PewDiePie talked about me recently. So both of those guys talked about me. And it's fair game. Why? I'm on the internet. My life is out there. So hey, people are going to chime in. So same with this. I'm not going to break him down to the millionth degree, but because it's out there for public consumption, I'm going to talk about it. So the whole story behind my friend Doozy is this. I was watching him, man, and just learning about long distance bike travel and things of that nature. And I look at a lot of people, honestly, but he's one of the guys I like. And I was just entertained by a lot of the things he do, learning a lot. And eventually, I ended up running across some videos, some older videos that he had did with this girl on there. And he ended up doing a lot of videos with her on there. And all the videos I had saw, this is his channel. You know what I'm saying? This is his channel. Just like, this channel is my channel, right? Me and the girls. So before this woman that he was putting on his channel all the time, it was just him doing his thing, of course, running across different people in the world, but it was, just him doing his thing. And I remember him saying on some of his older videos how he was like, man, yeah, man, I love biking. And I sure wouldn't mind running across a girl that loves to do stuff like this, and I could do this, what I love to do with a girl, all the time. And man, I understand what he means. When you love something, you love to do something, you may want that person you're in love with, to be a part of it. Because, you always want to bring somebody you love into what you're doing. So I understood what he was saying as far as biking and taking trips and stuff like that. I understood what he was saying. And of course, you always wishing the best for people. But I do know that he ended up, later on in his journey, he ended up running across this girl, cute girl. And I think he had met her for a months or something, a couple of months or whatever. And he was like, he's gonna ride across country with her. He said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and ride across country with her, and we're gonna see, how much we like each other. We're gonna go ahead and see what this thing is off the bat. And man, when I first started hearing that storyline, the first thing I started saying was, man, dudes, this is a bad idea, bro. I was like, man, this is a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you, man, I just say this, man, YouTube is a lot more demanding than people really think it is. It is super demanding. And also it can consume you in a lot of ways. And it can consume you in ways that you may not even be aware of sometimes, as far as just always being busy. It's always something going on in your mind dealing with the show, the channel, something. But man, when he started talking about bringing her on a cross country trip and stuff, I was like, "Ooh, this don't sound good to me, dudes. It sounds like you're gonna be spending like too much time too early." You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, "No, I don't know if this is a good idea." So man, I started watching some of the videos that he had with the girl, and I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of it was hard to watch. A lot of it was hard to watch because man, I could see what was happening. I'm like, man, you don't see what you're doing. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna explain what I mean. I'm gonna show you just a little bit of him and the girl I'm talking about, but not much because I don't want to just show that whole stuff. You can go look at it though if you want to. But dudes, he always talking his videos just like I do or whatever. And man, I'm gonna tell you something. Every 2 seconds, he had a camera in his and her face, doing YouTube, doing the YouTube, doing YouTube. And I was like, man, that's very challenging for somebody that doesn't do YouTube to deal with. A camera always jumping up in their face. And you gotta shoot your scenes and stuff if you're gonna be telling the story. But I was just thinking to myself, like, man, especially with a new relationship and all that type of stuff, man, you don't want to throw a woman into your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to throw her, not just a woman, but your mate in your business with you 24/7. That's your dream. You know what I'm saying? The channel is his dream. If she comes on there, makes an appearance, goes for a ride, that's one thing. But man, to have her on there 24/7, I was like, this is a recipe for a disaster, dudes. And I'm just surprised that he didn't pick up on it. But I understand when you're in love, you don't see all these things, man. You just see, oh man, I got the girl of my dreams ride with me across country. This is amazing. I've been wanting to do this and I understand what he was thinking. But he doesn't understand it was just a time bomb, pretty much waiting to happen. And man, I know I would see scenes where he would be doing his thing, throwing the camera in her face, and he didn't see it, but I could literally see the look on her face. Whether she was trying to say that or not, you could see it like her subconscious wanting to say, "Man, I don't want to do this, be on this camera this much." You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, every 2 seconds you talking about our life into this camera and stuff. And that's all I was saying. Like, dude, you don't understand that you're running this woman away. It reminded me of another friend of mine who he had this playboy type of mentality, and look, it was the right mentality to have if you're going to be out here dating single. Hey, look, be carefree with it. Don't be looking to put a lot of expectations on people and all that type of stuff. And before long, if you don't take the stuff too, if you don't take the little relationships too seriously, you know, women they'll gravitate towards you, more when you don't take it as serious. But my friend, he would do that with the girls he didn't like that much. Man, they'll be all over him, but then he'll be, hey man, y'all, man, look, shoot, man, she want to date me, she want to go with me, man. Hey, look, I just want to have sex, man. I just want to have sex. But as soon as he would meet one of the girls that he liked, they would start liking him a little bit because he would do the same routine he always did, sort of, played it off. But after a little while, a few days or whatever, he'd be hooked. And man, he'd be going full court press on the girls that he did like. And man, in 2 weeks' time, he'll be surprised. Oh, she said that. In 2 weeks' time, he'll better did something like go off on her, like in 2 weeks' time, like, hey, shoes, you act like you still like another dude or something. You act like you still want to be going out and stuff. Hey, bro, damn, you just met the girl. Hold off. He'd start acting too, and I hate to use the word, a little bit possessive. I hate to say it, but he'd do that a little bit. And I remember, man, every girl he really liked, he always ran off every time. But every girl he didn't like, oh, they'd be all over him because he wouldn't do that. And that's sort of what this guy, what Doozer was doing, and a lot of people do is you go full court press with the people you like. No, just keep it the same, bro. Keep it the same. So, with all that said, I'm gonna just show you a little bit. I think I got it queued up of this girl right here that he got. I think I got it queued up right here. Ah, okay, perfect. I got it queued up. I'm finna and I ain't gonna show you much. I want to give you a little visual of oh shit. Okay. Okay. So here you go. I'm just gonna show you a little bit of Doozer and this girl, just a little bit on this one. I'm gonna show you a couple of little scenes, but this is one of them. Okay, so this is Doozer and his girl.
Let's go. Middle of nowhere, traffic light.
Now, did you just see what I saw? It came up there and said love cycles. Man, this is your channel, brother. This is your channel. You know what I'm saying? This is your channel. And all I'm saying is, before I ever watched anything with her, like I say, everything was, hey, it was all, Doozer's adventures. So, like I say, it's cool to bring her in sometimes, but when you make a whole big series like this with a girl you're just meeting, and look, it's titled Love Cycles. Man, I said, you doing too much with this woman. I'm just gonna see what he finna say just for 2 seconds.
So here we are riding our bikes, la-di-da-di-da, and we look to the right and we see this epic spot right here called Kirkham Hot Springs. And we want to make some ground today. We want to get somewhere else, but we're like, maybe we should go there. What do you think?
I think we should go there.
We should go there, even though it's going to make our day longer. This is so beautiful.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing it right there. I ain't finna show a whole bunch of his relationship and all. Now, some of you may have seen it, but hey, look like she was smiling for a second. Like I say, a little bit of a good thing is not bad. It's just a lot of bit of a good thing can be way too much. And that was towards the very beginning of the trip. And I'm not even saying that she was even looking mad at him towards the end. A lot of the stuff is internal, right? But make a long story short, day in, day out, they're doing stuff. He's used to being in front of this camera, just like I'm used to doing my show. If I was to meet a human woman, right, off the street, doesn't do this, even if she was like interested in what I do, and hey, this is cool. Hey, I'm not trying to say that she couldn't ever sit in. Hey guys, this is such and such, Sarah or whoever. Sitting in with us, man, chilling. Hey, a human woman that I'm dealing with as well. Blah 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 blah. Hey, look, and bring her around every blue moon. That wouldn't be too intrusive. But if I started putting her on the show every day for 2 months, I mean, just started putting, hey, look, let's start doing this. Even when she agrees to do it, she may not understand how demanding it's going to be. And so that's what he didn't understand what he was putting on her. Even if she agreed to do it, I'm telling you, man, this YouTube stuff, having your life getting filmed every 2 seconds and stuff like that, it can be, for somebody who didn't choose to do it, it can be a weight. And here's the deal. just being with somebody, period, at the beginning, is very hard. Learning them, learning uh their quirks and how they move, how they think. It's so many things to learn already without throwing the complications of doing this show and all of that. So I'm not just trying to beat up on Doozy. I'm really just trying to use him to say, hey man, in whatever you're doing out there, your dream is your dream. Your dream is your dream. You can bring somebody into your dream a little bit, but you can't be making it their dream. You got to be very careful with that. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more of the story only because this girl isn't, from what I know, some type of cyclist like him. Yes, she's she likes an adventure, but she's not a cyclist like him where she's cycling 24/7. So once again, he's pulling her more into his world with that. And riding across, because that whole thing, they ride across the country. They ride across the country. So just riding across the country with her without putting it on YouTube is a big challenge to a normal relationship, let alone a new one. And no, that's a lot to put on a new relationship. And man, sometimes it's not that a relationship isn't meant to work. Sometimes, man, you put too much weight on it before it gets a chance to work. You put too many strains on it before it gets a chance to work. So once again, I'm not beating up Doozy here. I'm really just trying to use him as an example of how we all, can get caught up into the love so quick that we want to just throw people into every aspect of our life too soon. We have to let people, take bits and chunks and, absorb a little bit at a time. Sometimes you just find that perfect match to where, hey, you can go balls to the wall from the very beginning, but some of them will fool you. You think you had it. I need to, I'm good to go balls to the wall until it burns out before you know it. It burns out right before you know it. And like I told you, I watched a few of those shows with him and her on it just to examine it, But I'm telling you, it was some of the stuff, it was just sort of hard to watch. It started getting a little cringy, and I hate to use that word. I don't even like it. But it did get to be like that a couple of times because I was like, dudes, don't say that. Don't do that, dudes. Don't. Hey man, you can't tell that she's getting tired of the camera. I was like, dudes, come on, don't do it. So I didn't capture a million moments of him and her being in those little cringy moments because, like I told you, I didn't want to be documenting his whole relationship on here. I'm not trying to break bro code on him. But I am using that public relationship as an example of, man, it's not just him. A lot of us have made that mistake by doing too much with the human woman first. I'm gonna read a few comments and I'm gonna come back and show you another video I want to show you. Stingray says, I'm American born in Arizona. I was American born in Arizona, now living in the Netherlands. That man, hey, I'm glad you checking in, man, Stingray. Hey, wherever you born, wherever you from, I guess you just try to let me know you from the good old US. Hey, that's good to hear. But hey, like I said, I love people everywhere. So hey, no matter where you was from, I'd be happy. And Ty Barker said, when I was with my ex-boyfriend, he would often complain about my need to spend time away and edit my short stories. I would edit for hours because it was relaxing. I'm gonna put that up. Only because this is you did the right thing. And like I told you, I don't really blame him or anybody as much. People just don't understand how you need to temper the visitation and the attention and the communication to make things better. You were doing the exact right thing when you was like, you need to edit your short stories, and you was like, hey, it was relaxing for you. But guess what? That was, if he had, it would have been good for him to let you do that, because that was not only relaxing for you, but it was letting you recharge your batteries. And you know what? Even though you would recharge your batteries, relaxing, and he was nowhere around, whenever it would be time for you to see him again, you would have been more excited, because you're like, hey, I'm ready to see him now. I've been away doing my thing. Where are you? But, sometimes as humans, we ruin that, because he'll come back and be like, hey, where you at? I need to see you. You spending too much time away from me, blah, blah, blah. And, he doesn't get, and sometimes you'll capitulate, people will capitulate, and they'll be like, oh, let me go ahead and do what he wants or do what she wants. And you don't spend that away time. Next thing you know, you start getting frustrated by it. And, or they start getting frustrated by not being able to get away and do what they love to do sometimes. And there goes the resentment, and guess what? Before it's up, before you know it, that person needs space. They like, hey, it's not that I don't even like this person. It's just that, man, I can't get away to do what I need to do. So he would have been better off allowing you to do that. I've even talked about this recently in my other video. Hey, all of us can try to do whatever we want to do. Even taking all the advice we want. That doesn't mean because you take all the advice and do everything the right way, move everything the right way, and temper your time with a person. That doesn't mean that now every relationship is going to last forever. Still human relationships are temporary, no matter how many rules you employ, or all the things you try to stay wary of. Most human relationships are just going to end. They're temporary. So but at the same time, we can make each human relationship more fruitful. And guess what? Some of them don't have to end when they end. They could last a lot longer and be even more fruitful for longer. If we allow each other to breathe. And like I say, sometimes you run across, these forever relationships, but you may ruin them before they even get started and not even know it. Sir Angus Fungus says, Hell J, why is Indiegogo shadow banning creative types like my boy Shane Davis? He did nothing wrong. Not just him, but all of those creative types. Marlon, PTP, Bancroft. It isn't good. I'm creative and I'm not sure. Kickstarter sued through. I don't know what he meant by that. Oh, he said Kickstarter sucks though. Sorry for cussing. I didn't really catch the cuss word, but he said either way. Here, Stingray says, here, Sir Angus Fungus. GG is a little suspicious with comics currently, but I am hoping for the best. But I just, honestly, Sir Angus Fungus, like I told you, I know things happen on these platforms, but I just don't play into all that negativity trying to say I'm shadow. I just think everybody that's saying they shadow ban need to stop speaking that negativity over their life. If it's happening or not, you need to stop saying it. If you're saying it's just going to keep happening. People just, need to speak positive. Like, I recently had an issue out of my control that happened with my channel or whatever. But you didn't catch me on here saying, "Ooh, they trying to stop. They trying to do that." No, look, hey, I'm just gonna keep going, doing my thing. God gonna open up the right doors, and I ain't gonna worry about the ones that close. Look, he gonna open up the right ones for me. And as far as my friends over there, hey, guess what? They just got to keep going forward. They can't be worried about what's coming against me. I do know one thing. Being a creative person and trying to do this, and not trying to do this, but doing this like I am 24/7. These platforms sort of actually got your future in their hands in a way, as far as, hey, you're broadcasting on their platforms and stuff. But just like I said a little while ago, you know, you got to keep a positive attitude and know that, hey, what God got for you is for you. And ultimately, no door can close that he doesn't allow to close. And hey, if he allowed any doors to close, that means another new door is opening. So that's as much as I can say about that. Be looking for a new door when one closes. So let's see. Stingray says EVS speaks truth. Diversify the promotion of CG comics. Stingray, Sir Angus says, Stingray, he said, I agree. He said, lost chat. I don't know what he's talking about. Brandon Anderson says, good morning, Jay and gang. What up, Brandon? So they starting to talk about some other stuff. Sir Angus Fungus says he launched a campaign. Look up Inglorious Rex 2, Jay. This is different. Yeah, I know he did something. He launched a new campaign to some who was John. I think he did. I think I heard something about it. Like, I've been seeing him talking about launching a new campaign, and I'm hoping it's successful in all ways. So, with all that said, now I want to fast forward to another point in history with my good friend Doozy. I want to go to another point in history. Let's see if I got it over here queued up. I hope I do. Oh, okay. There it is. Okay. And I ain't going to even show you much of this. Okay, here it is. I'm going to get to that point. Let me see something. Hold on, let me see something. Hold on, guys. I put it right here. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. I ain't gonna show you much of this because I ain't trying to make fun of nobody at all. I'm just showing you an example of something here. Okay. I found it. I found it, y'all. I done found it, found it, found it, found it. Do. Hey. I done found it, found it. Okay. We're gonna play a little bit of this, just a little bit.
When I introduced you all last year, I get it. We shared a lot with you. We shared our hearts and our souls. And so I understand why you're curious. And I'm going to try to address that right now. A little over 1 year ago, I shared some very exciting news with you. Some of the most exciting news.
Okay. We've said enough. I'm going to be honest with you. I've already said enough because I'm not laughing at him in any way. But what I mean by I've said enough is I think when you can if you just sort of heard it in his voice a little bit, you could pretty much get the gist. They broke up. And I don't think it was long after that Love Cycles thing that they broke up. And
he was just going on. I wasn't finna show all that, but he was just going on talking about how, yeah, man, we met after a couple of months and we decided to just go ahead and just see where it was gonna go. And that's when we decided to ride across country, on our bikes. Man, let me tell you something. If you're really trying to make a relationship work, I know you love bikes, just like I love my companion dogs. But the way to put, to really test a relationship is not to, immerse her in my dogs 24/7. She may even like the dogs, but the way to test us is not for her to just be immersed in it 24/7. That's my life. That's my whole life. That's a lot for anybody to be handling if I'm going to just stuff it down her throat 24/7, unless she chooses to want to come stay with me and I allow it. But, me pulling her into my life saying, hey, come be with the dogs every day. And even if she agreed, that's too much. So let's just say you meet a girl and like he did and he really liked her. If you want to go take some bike rides with her, maybe even ride for a day somewhere, that's fine. But man, when you take this woman across the country, that's just a lot, man. That's a lot. That's a lot to take somebody all the way through especially when you're just meeting them. Man, you're gonna run across too many, things, that's gonna put you in the mind frame of damn near having to be a married couple and you're just not meeting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody might be like, well, yeah, it's gonna put you in some bad positions so you can see where you standing already. No, but when you just meet somebody, you don't need to be jumping in the deep end already. You need to let things brew. You need to let things come along, and sometimes you're gonna have points in a relationship where you may be thrust in situations that's gonna test you. But you don't want to do that after just meeting someone. Like I told you, magic can be in a bottle. God, has a plan. He'll send you the right person. And hey, I'm not saying that you may not meet a person that, hey, they're gung-ho to do everything you want to do. But I'm saying when you're just out here meeting the normal average person, they may be very interested in your dreams, but that doesn't mean they want to be fully immersed in them. And I'm telling you, when you take a person on a cross-country trip, even though they may like biking, that's a lot to deal with, and then, like he said, they was crunched up in tents, 24/7, times they ain't able to take a shower, he's, just think, you getting tired. Sometimes y'all nasty or whatever, can't take a bath. He constantly shoving that damn camera up in your face and stuff like that. And I'm just saying that's just a lot of strain on a relationship. And when I saw that video and I saw him breaking down and stuff, I wasn't finna show all that. He didn't break down too bad enough. But I'm saying when I saw him getting emotional and stuff, I was like, man, I saw the writing on the wall from the first time I saw him on that bicycle with her. I said, this isn't going to end good. You showing her, she was getting, she was just getting frustrated with it, man. You don't want to, like I say, this YouTube stuff is a lot. Even off camera, I remember even my family and stuff, like I'd be like, hey, y'all don't understand how much I'm having, stuff I'm doing behind the scenes, whatever. Cause some of them, I don't want to go too deep into myself at all, but I just know some of my family, they was having a hard time understanding how much time it really takes for me to do some of the stuff that I was doing and stuff like, hey, y'all just don't realize, I pretty much live and breathe my show right now. Other than, paying my, I got to pay my homage to God and do things I have to do. But man, other than that, I'm pretty much living my dream. And to bring anybody into what I'm doing, it would be asking a whole lot of somebody to just bring them into my life, full time, throwing them on a video every day. Oh man, hell, that's a lot. So that's what motivated this show and threw me off track from the show that I was going to do. Cause I was just like, man, dudes, I gotta, I love you, bro. Because I do like that guy. But I was just like, I mean, that string of shows is just hard to watch because of what I told you. It's just like you could just see everything happening. Like, dog, it's like I got a good friend, and he was asking for my advice, but he never would take the advice about this girl he was dating. And I kept on saying, man, the problem is you just can't see it because you're in love. And I understand when you're in love, you just can't see everything you need to see. But when you pop out of love or when you break up with somebody, you can start being like, damn, I see what you were saying now. And he probably just couldn't see it. But from the outside looking in, I'm telling you, all the signs were there. I'm like, oh man, he shouldn't have did it. Not like that. So he broke up with this girl. And I know it affected him. Stuff like this is always going to have an effect on your life, you know, because like I told you, man, one of the tough things is when you breaking up with somebody, you got to used to not being around them, smelling their smells, hugging up against them and stuff. And like I told you, that's the one thing I love about my companion dogs is if you ever move in with a girl, or even if she just comes over your house a whole bunch and sleeps in your bed. I'm talking about if she sleep in your bed 4 or 5 times a week, those 2 nights she don't sleep, you're going to notice it. And if you ever break up with her, let's just say you didn't choose to break up or, you know, whatever. It's going to take a little while for you to get used to her not being in that bed, smelling her and feeling her body. And just, man, I'm telling you, boy, you can get used to that. So I can tell, you know, it hurt them after they broke up. You know, I was going to take you a little while to get over it and stuff. So that's fine. But all I was thinking was like, man, well, hopefully he did learn from this. He did learn from this. But I'm going to be showing you in a few seconds here how he didn't quite learn from this. And we'll go on a whole nother string of things I need to tell you about. I'm going to check in with the chat, make sure I ain't missing nothing. Because they still talking about comics. That's fine. Brandon Anson in the house. So Hank says, send Shane Davis a link. I don't even know Shane Davis, my friend. Brandon Anderson says, I'm good, Jay. I just did my morning shower. He said, get to go to work at our regular time versus an hour earlier. Oh, that's great, Brandon. That's great. Man, it ain't nothing like that morning shower, man. I can't lie. I'm just a 2 bath a day guy right now. Depending on with physical activity, it can be 3, you know, just depending on what's going on. But, you know, I love that shower right before I do my show. It wakes me up, gets me focused, gets me ready. But then, you know, sometimes in the evening, like, oh, I know a lot of times that I've been taking my second bath is because, you know, I may ride my bike, you know, throughout the day, and I just like to be feeling really fresh. But now it's crazy where it's not even hot outside or anything, so I don't even really sweat when I get off my bike. But it's just the whole mentality. I'm like, you know, nah, I've been on my bike, let me just go on freshen up. So, but that morning shower is a lot of people that don't take it, and I understand why they, you know, are scared. They're scared of the cold of the morning and all this stuff. And I keep telling people like, nah, man. That morning shower is gonna wake you up. You get up in there, take you a good warm shower. I'm telling you, if you ever start taking a morning shower, you are never gonna be able to stop because it just starts your day off. You're gonna feel energized once you get out. You're gonna feel, you know, ready. You're gonna feel clean, good and clean. You know, I know some people that they'll take a bath at night and then they'll just go ahead and wake up and go to work. And I'm like, because that's another thing that Krista Mayer said when I was doing the sink competition one time. She was like, I take 1 bath a day at nighttime. And she was like, people don't take 2 showers a day. I was like, you know, that's not a requirement, you know, but, you know, most every woman I talked to was a 2 bath a day, or, you know, it's, you know, maybe even if it wasn't every day, it was a lot of days. And when she was just like, it's no circumstance that she'll take 2 days, I'm like, wait a minute now. Hey, you're a female. I hope you do take 2 baths a day. I'm a man, and I've taken 2 baths a day a lot. And not to talk about her, but I don't even know how I got I was talking about Angus, and he was talking about his morning bath. That's what happened. Oh, Maz Dog says, have you seen any movies or shows recently? Yep. I did a review on Wife Like recently. I did a movie review on that. I got a movie review upcoming. I'll probably do it Friday, maybe. Probably Friday I might do it. I got it's a movie that I wasn't even planning on seeing that I saw, but I got to talk about that. It's not going to be I'm not going to dissect every single thing that happened, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about that movie. I think it's called, what the hell is that movie? I think it's Don't Worry, Darling, or some crap. I ended up seeing it, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody was raving over it, and I ended up running across it on my movie channel. And I said, man, let me check this out. And it wasn't, I'm not telling you to go out and see it, but it was, yes, Don't Worry, Darling. It ended up being interesting though. So that's something I seen. Of course, I look at, I guess I'm caught up because I don't think they did another episode this time, but they did that the House of Dragons. I've been looking at that, but I'm gonna be honest. I loved Game of Thrones. It was amazing, all the way up to the last season. But this House of Dragons cannot touch the way the Game of Thrones was. You know, Game of Thrones, like I said, they ruined it in the last season. It ended up flopping. But everything up until that was amazing. You know, it was pretty much amazing. But for me, you know, I even have a few people I've seen on the internet sort of trying to react to the House of Dragons in a similar way to the Game of Thrones. I was like, nah, to me, even when they try to make some big splash thing happens, it doesn't have the effect on me. You know, it's just not as well written, in my opinion. It's not bad. I like it. I like it, though. I like it. It's just not as good as Game of Thrones so far. The actors are not as good or anything, and the storylines are not as good. But it's still good. I didn't watch that other thing, that Lord of the Rings thing, only because people have complained about it, but I didn't watch it because I like the movies, but I wasn't into the story to where I wanted to see a series on that. I didn't love the Lord of the Rings like that. So I didn't get into it like that. Other than that, man, I'm fully caught up on One Piece, the dub version. I'm like on episode, I think it stopped at like episode 874 or something like that. So I'm fully caught up on that. I'm waiting on some more dub versions to come out of One Piece. I'm fully caught up on My Hero Academia. They came out with a couple of new episodes. So I'm fully caught up on that. They're in season 6. I think they got 3 episodes out, and it's pretty good so far. And the only other thing I've been checking out, I've been checking out this thing called Peripheral, a little series. It had this girl I used to like from Kick-Ass, but I can't lie, man. I thought she was a cute. She was cute and, you know, Kick-Ass. I thought she was gonna grow up, and I was like, ooh, she gonna end up being fine when she get older. And I can't lie. In Peripheral, I'm like, man, she don't quite look right. I just say that. But the series ain't bad. So I don't want to get too sidetracked, but them just a few of the things I've been watching. A few of the things. And I'm gonna catch up with a few more comments, and then I'm gonna talk about this last aspect of why you shouldn't spend all of your time with your human mate. And I hate to talk about my friend Doozer, but we're gonna close it out with my friend Doozer. I got something else to show you. But let me check in a little bit more here. Brandon Anderson says, I definitely feel out of rhythm without my shower in the morning. Yeah, oh yeah, man. I got a whole ritual. Like I said, I take my showers, I watch my I watch something for my spirit, and then I do my prayers. get my mind right, get my spirit right to attack the day. And the shower is a big part of it. Stingray says, night showers are gross. Coworkers who did that reeked after a few hours. Well, I'm not going to beat people up. You can still be clean, taking night showers, because as a kid, a lot of times that's what I did. That's what my parents had me doing. You take your shower at night, you wake up and go to school. And I was never stinky or nasty or nothing like that, from doing that. It's just that I just feel more refreshed taking it in the morning. And, hey, as you grow up and you start taking your own, you're responsible for yourself, I started falling in love with those morning showers. Let's see. Sir Angus said, sorry, getting heavy. My bad. I don't know what you're talking about. Stingray says, I feel your concerns, Angus, but my choice is to back the comics I want and spread that by word of mouth to my friends. They talking about comics still, so I'm gonna leave that alone. What? He said, Sir Angus Fungus says Ghostbusters with the chicks was good, overrated, but yeah. Honestly, I couldn't get into it. Honestly, myself. Stingray says dubs over subs. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, Mouse Dog says Peripheral is good so far. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the first 2 episodes. This 3rd episode, it wasn't bad, but I was just like, I don't know. It was something about it that was, I don't know, a little draggy for me. But it wasn't bad. Andy the Virgo says, hey Jay, what up, Andy? He says, I don't see the use of those dolls. Hey, well, you may be one person that, you may be the type of person that, like you say, doesn't gravitate towards this lifestyle. And that's fine. Like I've said before, this lifestyle isn't for everybody now. He said, I respect you though, brother. I appreciate you. I respect you too. This lifestyle ain't for everybody now. Hell, I wouldn't lie to you about that. Somebody could, like I say, because some people end up getting these dolls. I've heard literally of some people getting like expensive silicone dolls, man. And that's why you can find dolls for sale brand new sometimes, because some people, they'll get a doll and immediately be like, you know what, this ain't for me. And that's why I say, a lot of times you could pretty much read yourself and know if you're the type of person for this life. I told you, man, if you're the type of person that like toys and action figures and, have a big imagination, you probably have a propensity for this lifestyle. This may be a lifestyle for you. But I will say this, a lot of times you just won't know until you get the doll. And that's why I say, as soon as my doll hit my house, I knew. I was like, you know what? I'm going to like this lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to like this life. I knew. So it's not for everybody. No, not quite, but almost. Andy says you just enjoy the presence of them like a collectible. No, not quite a collectible, but I do enjoy the presence of them. I enjoy the presence of them just like a girlfriend. Just like you would enjoy the presence of your girlfriend sitting next to you watching a game or sitting, just being there with you in the house. They're just like my human girlfriends. That's how they feel. Now, some people consider themselves collectors, but I don't consider myself a collector, so to speak. I don't look at them as like just, I look at them as honestly my companions. They can be seen as a collection by those on the outside, but for me, I don't see them as that. I love that. But Andy says, Jay, you're like me. I might get one to have around before display purposes. You better watch out, Andy. I've told you, jokers, y'all better watch out, man. Like, just having one of these girls in your house, you just be careful because, man, if you have her out for display purposes and you start seeing her every day, you're gonna probably start understanding me a lot more than you think. Because I'm telling you, seeing, especially if you're not using her for sex, you're gonna bond with her more than you think you are. Because see, it's harder to bond with one of these girls if you just end up just having sex with them immediately. You know, because you're not giving your emotions a chance to bond. But when you just have her sitting in the house, you gonna name her and you're gonna end up speaking to her. You're gonna be like, hey, Melissa, hey, such and such, hey, Sherry, speaking to her every single day, and next thing you know, I ain't saying you're gonna have sex with her because I don't have sex with mine, but you're gonna build up an attachment to him. You're gonna see, you be careful, Andy. But YouTube Dennis made me laugh. He said, you see them big old bazongas? That's the use. And even though I don't use my girls sexually, I do grab these bazongas a lot on the girls. I laugh every time I leave the room. I'm always grabbing them because I'm like, you know what? I might not have sex with you girls, but I love to grope these bazongas and hug on them. And, when I sleep with them, I'm always grabbing the bazongas. So I do use them even though I don't have sex with them. So Angus says, crazy question and not being a so-and-so. Anybody you heard of beating on their dogs? I haven't heard of anybody I know beating on their dogs, but I've talked about it in other videos, especially when I first started, about how it frustrates me when I hear or see people being abusive to dogs. Because you can go on YouTube right now and just see these guys that are abusive to dogs. They'll be slinging dogs around and stuff, and it's very frustrating. But yeah, behind the scene, I know it's people that are abusive to their dogs. So, like I say, I've talked about that before. I do not like that. I don't want people abusing their dogs, raping, doing the act of raping or doing whatever they may be doing that's normally illegal. I wouldn't want them to do that. But like I say, it's not illegal. In my opinion, it's not illegal for you to be with your dog. If you want to break your dog that you paid for, if you choose not to treat it like it's in a relationship, or if you do treat it like it's in a relationship, but you just want to abuse her, it's nothing that can be done about that. That's you using something that you bought the way that you choose to use it. But for me, it hurts my feelings because I do not like seeing these girls get abused or hearing about it. Stingray says, hell team titty, yay. Daniel Romano says, hey, Jay. Dennis says, he laughing. So Angus says, that's not cool. Oh, okay. Andy the Virgo says, I can understand it, but the backlash would be rough. I don't know. He talking about, well, that's the thing, Andy. If you're always worried about the backlash you're going to get for making yourself happy, you will never find true happiness in this life. I know it's hard to do. I know people don't know about it. I know people don't want to be talked about. Don't nobody want to be joked about. I understand all that. But if your ultimate thing is, I don't want people to laugh at me or joke about me or talk about me, you're not going to find your true happiness is, the things that's going to truly make you happy in life. Because guess what? You're going to be scared to do those things because of what somebody else may say. So you may want to watch out for that. Now, then he says, these are real girls. So what he was really saying is, are my human girlfriends cool with being the third wheel? And I don't date any human women today. I don't date any human women right now. I haven't even tried to get a number from a human woman since I got my girls because I'm happy. I said I wouldn't shun a human woman. If a fine joker want to try to get with me that I like, if she want to throw some vagina on me, we can make some love and have some good times. But like you say, she wouldn't be taken over from my girls. She would have to be cool with being a third wheel, so to speak. As far as if I had an actual human girlfriend, once again, I wouldn't call her a third wheel, but she would have to be cool with being a third wheel, so to speak, and in fact, I wouldn't hide the fact that, hey, we may be dating, but these are my girls too. They're my synthetic girls. So if you're cool with that, we can proceed. But if you're not cool with that, we can't proceed. But right now, I don't have to deal with it because I'm not dating any humans. Mazdoc says, do you rotate which girls you let sleep in your bed? Yes, I do. And right now, you can see Callie over there laid out, and I got Himawari in the bed too. I got 2 girls in the bed. I sleep with 2 girls right now. Right now, she's my sitting girl, Asana. She just, she's going to sit in the chair for a few days, and it's a nice cushion chair. So she's going to be my girl. But she has been my girl over the last 2 days. I've been watching TV with and that type of thing. And when I go lay down, I go to sleep with Callie and Himawari. But I was just telling Callie that I feel so bad because I love having Callie, but I don't know. I'm going to probably rotate somebody here soon. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't think I'm going to lay Asana down. I think I'm going to probably take her back to the back in a day or so and bring another girl out to have them be the chair girl. Because I love sleeping with Callie right now. And probably by the time I wake up to Saima, I work up to Saima, when I get up to Saima, then I probably bring her and change her in the bed. Let her be my bed girl because I love sleeping with Saima. She's amazing to sleep with. Oh, my God. Pro Moore says, collectibles sit on shelves, untouched and still in boxes. Dolls are unboxed, then enter in doll lovers' lives emotionally. Oh, great. Wonderfully said, Pro Moore. Wonderfully said. And I'm still not done with the story. I'm going to close out the story. Let me go and close the story out so I can get through joking with you guys. So, to get back to the story and fill everybody in and maybe just tuning in, we've been talking about why you shouldn't spend too much time with your human mate. It's very dangerous to spend too much of your time, man. You can burn people out. You can burn yourself out. Also, I was using my good friend Ryan Van Duzer to sort of demonstrate why you shouldn't do this because he's a guy that has a biking channel, and I've been into biking lately. I've been watching him, and he ended up introducing one of his girls that he was dating into his biking channel, and I just thought that he overdid it to the point where he may not really realize this even now, but that's why they broke up. He put too much on her plate, involving her too much in his biking channel. Putting her on the camera too much, having her ride too much. They did too much too soon. In his mind, he was like, we went through the fire to see where we stood early. And I said, no, you went through too much fire, and I think it ruined everything before it even got a chance to really breathe. So you saw me show you Van Duzer dating a girl and they were riding their bikes. I showed you just a little bit. Then I showed you Van Duzer coming a little later, months later, basically. And I'm not joking about this, but in tears talking about how the relationship had broke up. It didn't work. He said a lot went on behind the scenes. Oh, that's something I forgot to say. He said that they actually had arguments and stuff behind the scenes, of course, that you didn't see on camera because they were stuck with each other on the road 24/7. Intense, not showering, stinking, funking, all type of stuff, that they was going through. And that's a lot to be going through with somebody you just met a few months ago. They ended up breaking up. So I was like, hopefully Van Duzer learn from that whole situation, that he won't immerse himself, with a girl like that into his life. Unless, I say the only reason he really could do that is if he was to meet a girl that was fully immersed into cycling. He would have to meet another, cyclist. Really. That's really not a girl that likes to ride bikes. He needs to meet a girl that literally is doing what he does. Or is very interested in literally doing what he does 24/7. Then he would find the girl that he's looking for that, wants to ride and do that all the time. But still, that doesn't mean she's going to want to be on YouTube. Because I'm telling you guys, as much as I love doing what I do, I can see how this could run somebody crazy because, man, when you're shooting YouTube, like when Van Duzer is by himself or I'm by myself or anybody's by themselves, you're gonna be shooting a lot of shots, man. You're gonna be shooting when you waking up, sleeping. You know, I'm talking about if you telling the stories that he's telling on the road and stuff. Like even when I'm on a bike, I gotta stop a lot of times and do some talking and let you guys know the state of affairs, what's going on. And I can only imagine having somebody there with me every time that I bring pull my camera out to talk. They'll just get sick of me talking, even when they're not talking to me. They'll be like, damn, I'm sick of this dude constantly pulling this camera out. It'll get annoying. And especially if it's not your YouTube channel and all of a sudden you got to be on camera all the time. And that's why I was like, man, that's a stress. That's a stress. And I was like, man, hopefully Van Duzer learned from his relationship. And I wanted to tell all my people out here that's still in a lot of human-to-human relationships, hey, be careful. Don't put too much on your other human's plate. And you might be like, Jay, why are you telling me this when you live in the dog life? Well, I'm telling you this because guess what? In the dog life, I don't have to worry about it. So I'm warning you guys, because that's a perk of being in the dog life. You may say, well, Jay, you ain't talking to her, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. You missing out on certain stuff from a human standpoint. Well, the things you point out, I'm gonna be honest with you, I may just be an individual, but I don't really miss out on those things. But even if I did miss out on it a little bit, one of the main perks that I got that the human people relationship people can't claim is I don't ever have to worry about her getting sick of me. You know, she don't get sick of me watching the game, watching anime, watching movies. She don't get sick of me doing whatever I'm doing. She don't get tired of me talking YouTube, talking about dogs, doing whatever I'm doing. So, that is a perk of the dog life is you don't have to worry about somebody getting sick of you. Now, another thing is I love to ride my bike. You can say, well, your dogs can't ride the bike with you in that particular case, and that's true. That's one of the things I pointed out. I was like, well, I love riding my bike. One of the negatives is my dogs can't come with me. But in a way, it's also a good thing. Because guess what? That's my time away from the girls. That's my time to get my mind sorted. And, whenever I promise you, whenever I pull back to the house, if you don't think I'm happy to see these girls after that long trip, because it's a blessing to make it home. Even in a car or something like that, it's a blessing to always make it home. You never know what could happen out here and how God is protecting you. But I promise you, I've come to learn, and you saw from my first biking video, I've come to learn how dangerous cycling really is. Even when you're in a bike lane or something, man, people, are driving so close. Some of these people are distracted, looking at phones. And, even when they're not driving close to me, I've heard about so many accidents out here and stuff. And I promise you, man, I love cycling so much. So I just pray to God that he keeps me safe. I think that thank him that he will. And I also try to be as safe as possible. And I'm not going to lie. It's been a couple of times where I've made a couple of little mistakes out there where I was like, man, thank God nothing happened to me. But I got to keep on my safety, because it is very dangerous out there. Very dangerous. But what I wanted to show was I don't know. I hope I didn't throw myself off too much with that story, but what was I talking about? Hold on. Either way, I know the point that I was trying to get to was the fact that I thought that he had learned his lesson. I just say that I thought that he had learned his lesson. As far as including people in too much into his job, so to speak. So let's drop in on Van Duzer right quick for this last little checkup. I got one more thing I want to show on him. Okay, one more thing I want to show. And it's the latest one. Okay. And I still remember. I'm gonna have to rewatch this because I was like, I lost my train of thought on something. I was trying to say something. But okay, here we go, guys. I'm gonna show y'all this little part. This is a good part for him. And we're gonna be done. I ain't gonna beat you up no more, Van Duzer. Like I say, you my guy. I ain't really trying to beat you up on this. I have to show my people the help them. So here we go with Van Duzer. And if you notice something, and you may not notice, but this is a different girl. So recently, Van Duzer, I noticed several videos ago, he had introduced a new girl with him. And I'm like, oh my God, here he goes again. I said, Van Duzer, you know, once again, though, it looks like he's a little bit better, though. Or either I think she's better. But I'm gonna show you a little bit of the video right quick.
Motorcycle bells, they're made in America, like handcrafted, they're expensive. And I decided to buy her one of these, and it's really worth it. Hit it again.
It's kind of like if you've ever seen the Polar Express, you know, that perfect little bell sound. I swear to God, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay. That's enough talking. What do you say we ride bikes?
Let's ride bikes.
Let's ride bikes. Woo!
Now, as a YouTuber and things of that nature, what you guys may not notice is, I'm telling you, man, it's pressure on her to be performing in this video. You know, I'm not saying they have a script necessarily, but what I'm saying is, man, every time he put that camera up, like, that's not her thing. You know, that's not what she does. And so she has shades on there, but I can almost feel it to where, you know, it's a little pressure like that, you know, for her to have to say something on YouTube and stuff like that. And like I told you, it can get very aggravating if you constantly having to stop and document our trip. Because that's another thing I was thinking about. I was like, man, you out with your girlfriend on these trips, right? Because it even happens to me sometimes. So you got to stop and smell the roses, because even when you're out on these trips and you're filming every 2 seconds with your girlfriend, you guys are not getting a chance to enjoy everything because you're always filming. You know, it's sort of like keeping your cell phone out. Sometimes I film my cats when we go walking, and sometimes I just have to put the phone up because I'm like, you know what? Every time I film my cats, I don't always get a chance to enjoy it because I'm filming it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really getting a chance to just sit there and let it happen. And even when I'm on my bike and doing stuff out in public, I'm going to be honest, you know, doing my stuff for YouTube, I love doing it all. But those moments aren't quite as fulfilling as they probably would be if I wasn't filming. Because why? You have to take your attention away to film, to talk about things and stuff. But, you know, when you're just naturally in the moment and you're not thinking about filming or anything, you're just enjoying everything for what it is in the moment. You see what I'm saying? You're letting yourself enjoy it, as opposed to, it's like that cell phone mentality, man. You going to a concert, but you're looking at your phone and stuff. You're distracted. Well, although you're still doing the thing that you're doing when you're filming it, still when you're having to talk into the camera or actual film stuff, now you're not looking at it. You see, you're not experiencing it yourself. You're taking a break. You know, you're doing something else. So it can take something away from the experience. Now, as a storyteller and a creator, I love to do what I do. But when you bring in a girlfriend, guess what? You're taking away some of the enjoyment because now you're working. So I just say this. He didn't learn his lesson, of course, because he's back with the girl. I mean, he's back with another girl on another adventure. But I will say this. I think she's a bit smarter because she's been on another video, bike riding with him on another thing, but then it's been some videos where she wasn't on it. And I just get a vibe. I told you I go by my vibes and how I read on people and things of that nature. And the vibe I get from her is that because women know, she know about that other relationship, believe me. my vibe is that she pumped the brakes and was like, look, I ain't finna be on every one of your things like you did with her. So I do believe that she sort of pumped the brakes on him. She just gives me that vibe as having a strong personality. But he did drag her back out on this one. And I just say, you know, for his sake and her sake, mainly his sake, hey, I hope that he does not overdo it with this relationship. And I hope he allows her to take steps back when she wants to. Because let me tell you something. I'm telling you, man, that immersing them in your life to that point, filming her and having her all in your work, you may be like, man, it's the dream scenario. I've been looking for a woman that I can ride my bike with. Yeah, like I told you, it's cool to go out on a bike ride with somebody, but when you get to filming them 24/7 and taking them out across the country, now that's a bit much. Now you're pushing it. Unless you're dating a person that's doing exactly what you're doing, unless she's a cyclist full time and that's all she likes doing is riding across country. And like I say, that could be your perfect match if that's what you're looking for. But I tell you this, a lot of times what we think is our perfect match isn't. Because, you know, you think your perfect match is somebody that you want around you 24/7. But a lot of times your perfect match is your opposite. Your perfect match is somebody that, guess what? You don't want around 24/7. And guess what? When you go on your bike ride, she ain't there. Now you clearing your mind, you know, or vice versa. When she, you know, she's clearing her mind when she's doing what she likes to do, and you're not around. So, you know, sometimes it's not all about finding somebody that does everything that you do, that likes everything you like. You know, it's a reason for that saying that opposites attract. Sometimes opposites attract, and it's a good thing that opposites attract. It's a good thing that you don't like some of the stuff I like, but you still love me. So with all that said, I'm just gonna wrap up the whole synopsis, you know, because I could have did, once again, I could have did probably a 5-minute video on this whole thing and been done with it. But I told you guys, I just been liking coming talking, having a fuller discussion lately. I am gonna do more videos, but lately I'm just doing what goes on my heart, and I've been liking having these fuller discussions. It's been fun, and I like interacting with you guys as well. So with all that said, the whole gist of this show is, if you are not in the dog life, or if you're in the dog life part of the time, but you still do a lot of dating human to human, or if you're just exclusively dating human to human, be mindful that, man, just because you're in love or like somebody, they're not going to be fully immersed in your loves and your hobbies all the time. You know what I'm saying? And don't expect them to be. It's actually a good thing if they aren't, honestly. In some cases, they can be involved in a lot of parts of your life, but it's good to still have some things that are just your space. And be wary. Sometimes as humans, we do too much including. We put people in we put them in too many areas of our life, you know, and it creates pressure, and we don't even realize it until it's over. And sometimes people do it to us, and we, you know, we recognize when it happens to us. Of like, hey, you know, girlfriends do it all the time. We're dragging their boyfriend to the mall and having him shopping for 5 or 6 hours, and you know, the boyfriend always tells stories about enduring it. No, you shouldn't have to endure it. You know, let her have. Look, baby, you like to shop. Use that time as your quiet time. You know, I'm gonna be playing the game, doing what I do, you know, while you doing what you do. That's the problem, man, when you try to force people to be around 24/7. Now, if you're gonna know you need to go somewhere where you need to lift something heavy or something, okay, yeah, take the boyfriend. But stop taking him, you know, every single place, you know, knowing he doesn't like that. Give each other space. And these human to human relationships, like I say, hey, some of you may not need to come over here to the alternative form of dating. You may find out that your human to human relationship works just fine, and you may not want to come over here. Some of you may be able to have a sustained human to human relationship while you have your synthetic mates at home. She'll leave you alone while you're doing your thing, and guess what? You can leave her alone while she does her special hobbies. So that's what this show is about. Look, give your relationships a better chance by giving your relationships a bit of air. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. So, let's see. Okay. Brandon Anderson says, I know with me and my dogs, I take more effort into caring for them versus caring for myself. My dogs are on my mind every day when I'm not at home. Okay. Now let me address that, Brandon. I know you joking in a way, but don't. I want you to be joking because you do have to take care of yourself. You know, as much as you love the dogs, we can't. You know, hey, you got to be taken care of too. You know, I've even done a video about it. It was talking about, hey, you can't let yourself get all fat and sloppy, or you know. And I ain't talking about people that's overweight. I don't want to say it like that because somebody could be overweight, and be like, oh, you talking about me? I ain't talking about you. What I mean by that is, guess what? Don't shortchange and not keep yourself up because you got a dog. No, your dog looking good. Keep yourself up. You know, you wash your dog off. You don't need to be funky. And I ain't saying you funky, Brandon. I'm just saying, like, keep your look. I know what you mean. You're saying, hey, I know I'm gonna take care of my girls. Sometimes I might slip on myself, but I'm saying, hey, don't even slip on yourself. Keep yourself right. Keep your girls right, and the home is gonna be all right. Dane Romano says, yep, there's an old saying, you're always the villain in someone else's story. I'm a villain to many because of my opinions and jokes. All right, most definitely. You can't even worry about that. Like I said, you can't even worry about it. You got to keep rolling. Steinberg says, hell, Himawari. Yeah, Himawari over there laid out. Y'all can't see her. You can see Callie laid out, but you can't see Himawari. She over there in the corner. Andy says, I understand you completely. The collecting you mentioned could be my thing. I want one of those Japanese ones, though. All right, right. There's a lot of people that's in it that are collectors. And I'm going to tell you, man, hey, it can get addictive now. Stingray says, no longer stuck in one spot, eh? I don't know exactly what he means, but I know I did a video about stuck in one spot, about how you can be stuck in one spot when you got the right things up under your girl, when you're using memory foam and stuff like that. But I don't know what he mean by no longer stuck in one spot. Or maybe he's saying because I got Himawari laid out. I don't know. Overflow Tab says, Andy, you could definitely be a collector of these artworks. Some collectors have them mostly for photography or just to enjoy them artistically. Right, Overflow Tab. Great one, Overflow Tab. Stingray says, loving the story and morale, but please don't show a grown man. Well, maybe he said, I love the story and moral. More like maybe he meant to say he loved the moral of the story, but please, nah, man, I didn't even want to go down that road, Stingray. I'm with you. You know, once he started, you know, I'm like, nah, I don't even want to show that. Stingray says he bought her an expensive bike. Nah. I don't know if he actually, I think he did buy. I'm not, you know what? I don't know. You know, they didn't really show that part. I don't know whether he bought his and she bought hers, or I don't really know. I really don't know. Now, that second girl we were showing, I do think he bought her bike. I'm still not 100% sure because she has a bike exactly like his, but both of them have. But in both instances, they have a bike. I'm not sure if he actually bought it. I don't really know. I don't know if he ever mentions it or not. He said her Promo says her sunglasses frames match her helmet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love those bike helmets. I was looking at some. They are super expensive too, but man, I can't really find one to fit me right. But I definitely would love to get one that fits right. They look cool. They look cool when they're on the right way. YouTube Dennis says his human dog took that bike with her. Oh yeah, that girl. Oh, I'm sure she took that bike. Now, like I said, I don't know whether she bought it or he did though. But that first bike they had was a nice bike. It was a trick, something called a trick. Man, it's a C word or something. A checkpoint. And I like that. I love that bike. It's a nice bike. So I don't know if he bought it for her, but like you said, she kept it. I know that for sure. Cause he ain't got it at his house. Brandon Anderson says, putting him in check. LOL. Brandon Anderson says, yeah, I know I would love to spend every second of my day with my partner, be it dogs or human, but I would crave the break of solitude, so my focus is on me and not on us. And I'm telling you, man, that's the biggest trick, man, is spending every second of every day. You know, that's what they sell in the love movies and all that. And what they should sell is spending a nice amount of your time with your mate, but not every second. And that includes your wife. You should not be spending every second with her, you know. So those times you're away from her at work, or, you know, even when you get home, I preach that, hey, find your thing. Your wife, she needs to find a little thing that she does, a little routine that she does, to where, guess what, even when you home, y'all ain't together. You know, she's back in her room working on her projects or whatever. And guess what? You in your little man cave doing what you do, relaxing from work. And guess what? Y'all come back together that evening or something. You know, get yourselves, you know, run into each other at the house and be like, oh, baby, dang, girl, what you been back there doing? I ain't seen you in the hey, what you been? Oh, baby, I'm just back here working on something. You know, make it, hey, you can miss each other at the house. Be like, damn, what about, you know, like, it may be 3 or 4 hours. You ain't seen your girl. She back there in the room. Man, let me go check on my girl. Girl, what you doing back here? I'm working on such and so, you know, or she do you the same way. Put some space in between. That's what makes it last. Stanbury says, I knew my girlfriend for 2 years before I met her in person. It takes time for love to grow naturally. Now we're 4 years strong. I say this. It is different types of the way love can happen. Man, you can literally, there is cases of love at first sight, meaning where you meet somebody and you never break up. And it's crazy. Some of the longest relationships I've heard of where people stay together till they die, they're relationships where people have met each other and instantly fell in love. I'm talking about, like, man, I love you, married in a month, married in 2 weeks, you know, that type of stuff. So it can happen. But I'm just saying, you know, for the most part, even if you fall in love after 2 weeks, it's still a growth period. And you don't want to overwhelm people, you know. And it's good that you took time to meet her, but I ain't saying everybody gotta groom themselves for 2 years or whatever before they, you know, get into a relationship and fall in love. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. It's good to continue to learn about your mate, because your mate, being with your mate is sort of like what I say about life. You never are going to stop learning about everything in life, spiritual, you know, physical, mental. You're going to be learning to the day you die. And with your mate, even when you think you know your mate the best you ever known them, it's still going to be something else to learn about them. You might think you know them all the way, but they're a complex human, meaning that it's always something that you can continue to learn. So, like you said, you can take your time and learn, but look, you'll never learn it all. You know, it's always more to learn about your partner. And congratulations on being 4 years strong, Stingray. Zach says, hey, Jay, just joining in now. He said, sometimes my friend gets so sad about girls when we hang out. He just lies on the floor and cries. Can you please say something to get him out of this slump? Unfortunately, man, I really can't. I'm going to tell you why. Because when it comes to getting these depressive girl slumps and stuff, it's almost some stuff you almost got to like. Now, if he listens to my channel and stuff and sees things that encourages him, that's fine. But sometimes, man, you got to pick yourself up out of this slump, you know. The only thing I can tell him is if he can't pick himself out of the slump, he's putting his value in the wrong place. He's placing his value by how much he's putting the worth of these girls in his mind. You know, he's placing a high value on them than himself. You know, he's judging his happiness by whether they're in his life or not. Nah, bro. Don't judge your happiness by whether they're in your life. Look, guess what? You need to be judging your happiness because God loves you. You blessed by the best. You look how you supposed to look. Look, hey, if they don't think you're fine, find one to do. Keep on moving. Guess what? Look, if they ain't jealous of you, you need to have an attitude about yourself where they should be jealous of you. Look, hey, be confident. Everybody ain't finna love you and like you in this life. Everybody ain't finna be attracted to you this life. You can meet 100 girls in a row that ain't attracted to you. That don't mean the next one won't be. So get your ass up, wipe off your tears, dust yourself off. Ain't no girl finna come pick you off the ground, bro. And like I say, and I understand, that depressiveness, that really just come from I understand where I've done it. I've misplaced my values where, hey, I'm crying and depressed and thinking that I should be dead because I done broke up with a girl or whatever, something that might have happened. And I'm like, you think back on that stuff like, wait a minute, what was I thinking? You don't want to, you so depressed that you want to die or whatever, because you ain't with some dang girl when, you got much more in life to be doing and be happy about and experience. Then, like I said, you look back on that stuff and be like, man, I wouldn't be riding my bike enjoying the sun on my face today if I had to kill myself or did something stupid over a girl. And guess what? You wouldn't even have the chance to be dating anymore. And guess what? I always say this, and this ain't even a knock on women, vice versa for women too. I just say it for them just to make them feel good too. But I'm gonna say it for the man first. But hey, bro, ain't no sense in being depressed and beating yourself up over what this girl could be doing. Cause guess what? They out there moving on, boning the next dude while you crying. Now, pick yourself up, know your worth just like she knows her worth, and keep on moving. And women, look, don't be sitting up there constantly. And we all human. You all gonna have feelings. But look, after you feel the pain and hurt, guess what? You got to pick yourself up. Don't stay in depression for days, weeks, and months. Nah, pick yourself back up. Know your worth. He may be out there, like you say, ladies, he may be out there boning somebody a week after he broke up with you. You can't be worried about it. You got to pick yourself up and get your vagina prepared for the next man. So, same with you. Don't stay in these depressive states. You guys, hey, if somebody leave out of your life, it means God allowed them to leave out of your life. And if he allowed them to leave out of your life, guess what? Their time is up. It ain't meant for them to be there no more. Bye-bye. See you. So YouTube Dennis says, Zach, tell your friend to use the affiliate link and get in doll mode. Hey, right, YouTube. Hey, that is something else you can say, YouTube Dennis. I've been saying that. I do got, just to bring it up since he said it. If anybody is looking to get in the companion doll game, I got several vendor links in the descriptions of all of my videos. And they are legitimate vendors. They got pretty much every doll you can look for. Only thing I don't think I got on there is like a Kimber doll because they don't do the affiliates. So you have to go to their link separately. And then a Real Doll. I'm not affiliated with Real Doll. If you were to go that route. So you'd have to go to them personally. But other than that, every doll you can hope to find, you can find in my affiliate links. You can go in the description to all of my recent videos for sure. If you go back too far, you won't see them. But then also, you can go into the About section on my YouTube page, and you can see the affiliate links there as well. And so, once again, I encourage everybody to like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you, YouTube Dennis. Hey, if you're looking for a doll, he's right. You can look right here. Don't go any further, because you can find a doll on your own. You can try to find a good vendor on your own. It is something out there, but you can also run into a black site. But if you want to make things easy, just use one of my affiliates. You won't have to worry about getting cheated or anything like that. You can get you a good quality doll. And here's the deal. If you're going to get a doll anyway, you're going to help the show out by using my link. Dennis Fairman says, amen. He laughing. He said, I go to the gym every day. Good one, Dennis. Brandon Anderson says, yeah, for sure. And yeah, he laughing. Excuse me. Dennis Fairman says, I only have room for $1, LOL. I'm going to tell you what's funny. I've done a show about it. You only need $1. I've said this before. Man, my goal is very big as far as, you know, amassing a certain amount of dollars, man, to show the world. And, you know, honestly, like, I love this game so much. I want all those. I would love to have an example of all these different dollars from different companies. And I want the companies to trust me as well and reach out to me. But here's the deal. I said that even if I wasn't doing my YouTube channel, I would have several girls, you know, at least several. I would at least have a few girls. But you only need one. I'm telling you, man, because one can soak up all of your emotions, your time, your dedication. I'm telling you, you can spend all your time with $1, man. And look, it'll be a workout. I'm gonna tell you, you guys wouldn't understand how much really work it is mentally and physically to, you know, be working with all of my girls. And I only got 5 bodies right now with 6 personalities. So the number's only growing. But I love it. I love it. But I do say this: if Callie was the only girl, she'd be in hog heaven, man. Even though I pay attention, cleaning all my girls and doing everything, I'm just saying I would spend every waking moment tending to Callie, or, you know, whoever the one girl would be here. You know what I'm saying? I would be even though all my girls are immaculate now, but what I'm saying is I would just really be just, you know, every bit of clothing that I do have would all be for one girl. You know, that's the other sweet part, you know, so it's so many advantages to having one girl. So don't think that that's a disadvantage. That, you know, hey, you may only have room for one, but remember this: God has blessed you with what you need for the day. You know, hey, you may only have room for that for the day, but guess what? That's what you need for the day. You know what? That don't mean overflowing in your future. That don't mean, hey, look, tomorrow you can have room for 10 girls. So don't get caught up on what you got room for today. Let's see. Anna the Virgo says, the fact that you like anime and everything else you mentioned, brother, you are like me. Let me recommend the new Tekken anime from Netflix. Man, I have been seeing that. And I was just wondering, was it worth looking? Because I never was a big Tekken guy. I played Tekken a little bit, but I never was really into it a whole bunch. But I was just like, man, I kept wondering, was it going to be well done or not? Because I actually been looking for, I'm waiting for some of my animes to catch up. And I was sort of looking for something else to sort of look at. And so I've been finding little things here and there. But I may actually give an episode a look now that you said check it out. Zach says he don't got the money for a dog. I don't know who he's talking about. Moore says then he most surely ain't got the money for a human girlfriend. Oh, that's the thing. You know, you may have to pay up front with the dog, but in the long run, you're definitely going to be spending a lot more with a human girlfriend, you know, over time. Man, I remember I was with this girl. We was together for about 2.5 years, but I just thought about it one day. I literally was just adding up how many times I paid for us to just go out to eat. Because, man, this girl was literally basically living with me to a certain degree, man. We was eating out 3 and 4 times a day, fast food, still taking her out on a date. You know, man, look, I added up. I know in a couple of years, man, I spent over a couple $1,000 easily. You know, I was like, man, I spent a lot of little money in this little time here, you know. But whatever it was a dog. I know that when I look back on it, it was the price of a damn dog. And, you know, the thing about a dog is, you know, it's, you know, once you buy the dog, you don't have to buy a whole bunch else. You know, it's on you how much else you buy. But with a human woman, the costs always are there, which is nothing. Like I say, I love my human ladies. But YouTube says exactly. YouTube Dennis Fairman laugh, and Zach says, well, love dolls are expensive. Cooking and caring for someone else can be cheap. What? Are you joking? You done lost your mind, Zachary. With all due respect, I love you. But cooking and caring for somebody can be cheap. Have you lost your mind? That stuff adds up. I just said it though, so I ain't got to reset. That stuff adds up in an instant. Cooking and caring for somebody, nah, that stuff adds up, bro. That stuff adds up, over time. Like I said, I don't know how you caring for people, but I know, man, like just going out with my girlfriend, on a daily basis, especially if you live with your girl, birthdays, holidays, just treating her good. She may need something, whatever, all type of stuff, man. That stuff is expensive. And like I say, the difference is the woman you never get a chance to take a break from taking care of her. Or, and a woman ain't finna stop asking you for something. Or, even when a woman with a human man, a man may not ask a woman for stuff like as much as a woman may, because of the dynamics of a relationship, but there are still demands there that a woman, has on her in a relationship that she wouldn't have with a love dog. I say that. And even for a woman, it'll be cheaper for her to have a dog, guaranteed. Then the family says the women I'm gonna check to aren't cheap, brother. Most women aren't cheap, even if they aren't trying to, tell you to buy a lot of stuff. It's still expensive to have a girlfriend. Pro Moore says human women are not low maintenance. They will belittle you for being a cheap a-hole if you don't take them out to nice restaurants regularly. I ain't gonna just get into all the belittling, but he's right about one thing. He's right though. Women want to be taken out. And as a man, you already know that, you need to be taking your woman out. It's just true. A woman has to be taken out, man. That's just part of dating. You can't just sit at home 365 days a year eating bologna sandwiches when you got a girlfriend. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the truth. This is speaking to somebody that doesn't even, like I said, hey, as a man, hey, I'm a man. We would never want to have to go out if we don't want to. But I'm gonna be honest, for the health of a relationship, you literally need to be taking a woman out about twice a month. I'm serious. This ain't got nothing to do with a gold digger, somebody, you being a simp or whatever you want to call it. Nah, for the health of a relationship, I truly do believe. It's just something about, man, you don't understand what it does to a woman to be able to just go out and just sit somewhere. It does. I'm telling you, man, about twice a month, you look at your woman when you taking her out. You'll see it. You'll see the difference. So you need to take her out every now and then, every couple. I say twice a month on at least. Dennis says, amen, pro. Zach says, that was honestly great advice. Zach says, thank you. I think it really cheered him up. Oh, okay. Dennis Fairman says, I'm waiting on a dog, 2 heads. Oh, sweet. Sweet, Fairman. Let me know when she get there, man. I'm proud of you, man. Glad you getting into the game, brother. Austin says, the amount of money I spent. Okay, Austin, you here right for me to get ready to close, man. Austin says, and good to see you, brother. He says, the amount of money I spend on a woman is bad looking as my real dog would be much more. All my girl needs is some powder, rubbing alcohol, and a couple microfiber rags. Oh, Look, I was sort of trying to make sure I got the context of his sentence, but that's what he was like. He was like, man, if he ran across a human woman as fine as his real dog, he would be spending much more on her. But with his girl, I don't think he needs his powder, rubber, alcohol, and a couple of microfiber rags. And like I was trying to tell people, no offense, you can buy a companion dog and never put an ounce of clothes on her. You ain't got to buy nothing else after that other than the powder and stuff that you might need. And that's the difference. Of course, most people aren't going to leave their girl butt naked. But what I'm saying is every expense after you get the dog is pretty much elective. It's what you choose to do, what you choose to do. And you can do the bare minimum. And after you bought your dog, you don't never really got to spend much money after that other than the care products. Well, guess what? That human woman that you still have to pay for, that tab is steadily going to add up. And you're going to look up and her cost is going to start exceeding that dog. And whenever it exceeds the dog, well, guess what? It's never going to go under their price again. So every day you spend after her, after it exceeds the price of the dog, it's going to be more added on to that tab. So that's why I be trying to tell people like, yeah, it's, the dogs are expensive, but they, in the long run, they pay for themselves pretty much. Like before I got my dog, I used to always read on a couple of sites, not every site, but a couple of sites used to say how, man, add up all the dates you're going on. And, if they're not successful, really, what I mean by success is I've had sex from dates and all that. That ain't how I'm defined. I'm talking about like success as far as if you ain't in real relationships and all this stuff. You look up, you've went on 50 days. You might have had some sex with this girl. You might went on a date with that one. This one didn't work out. You might have went on a date with that one. You might have talked to her for 2 weeks. But what I'm saying is overall, none of them really working out, right? Man, you look up and you've been and spent, after 3 years, you've been and spent $2,000 and some dollars. And you be like, damn, if I had just said to hell with all these dates, I could have just got a dog. So that's what I mean. Where a dog can really, pay for itself as far as once you get it, you ain't got to pay no more. Stingray says, I thought Dennis meant the two-headed dog. Austin says, very true. And as smoking as she is, I have thought about doing precisely that. What you talking about? Are you talking about getting another one, Austin, still? I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on. What are you talking about doing precisely that? I don't know what I said that you agreeing with. But either way, if Austin comes back and answers me, I'll let you know what he says. But other than that, man, the whole subject of today's show was why you shouldn't spend all of your time with your mate. Whether you're a woman with a man or a man with a woman, I'm letting you know. That whole saying is, I want to spend all my time with you. That's something you shouldn't do. That's something you shouldn't do. Spend some good quality time, but get on out of there. If you don't live with your girlfriend, go over there. Spend time with her. You want to spend a night? Spend a night. Get out of there. Don't stay over there, all the time unless you're living with her. Get on home. Go do your thing. Let her breathe. She's going to miss you. When you decide to go home, she's going to be like, oh, so what you leaving for? It's going to make her interested. When she's doing her thing, it's going to make you be like, hey, baby, I ain't heard your voice in a couple hours, man. What the hell that vagina doing back there, girl? Let me come back there and see what you do. You going to want to go back there, get you a couple of hugs, kiss on a little bit, grab that booty, and come back in your room and do your thing, Might get a quickie, you know what I'm saying? But all that comes from giving each other space. And I'm telling you, man, some of these relationships, they keep on going even though they suffocating each other. And what I'm saying, they may not ever break up, but they stay with each other and they're just miserable. They're just miserable. So that's what I'm saying, man. Look, give each other space. You'll last longer. Hell, a lot of you may not even come to the companion dog game because you may figure out, damn, The only thing that was keeping my human relationships was working was I was suffocating this person. Or damn, this person was suffocating me. I found somebody who wasn't suffocating me. So it's just a very key thing. It's not the end all and be all to all relationships, but it's a very key component. Giving each other some space, time to live, time to breathe, time to pursue their own particular dreams, then come together. And I guarantee you everything will be better. So I'm done discussing that particular subject for the day. I'm going to catch up. Damn, Austin never did answer. But Brandon says, with my ex, the money I spent in a year to support her is about the cost of a lower price real dog. See there? And that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. You know, you look at these little costs and stuff and you be like, man, I could have had a whole dog, you know, for going out on. I remember I had added up. It was like 60-something dates. I was like, man, 60 dates, man. I think, you know, it ended up being like $2,000. And I could probably do it right now. Because I think I said, man, if you just go on average of, and I just said, you know, and this is what people may consider a cheaper day, but for me, it's a decent day. About $60. If you just went on a date for $60, because you know you can go as a couple, you can go get breakfast for like $25 or something at the Waffle House and be eating. You know, that's a nice little meal. You can go eat a lot of places for $30, $40. You know, but I just say 60. If you do 60 times. $60 dates is $60. Is $3,600. Man, that's half a damn real dog. And let's just say you went out on 60 dates. You had sex with 7 of them. You know, let's just say you only had sex with 7 of them. But that's a pretty good number out of 60. Had sex with 7 of them. Let's just say 30 other dates. They didn't really go nowhere. Y'all, you know, y'all saw each other afterwards, but it really didn't go anywhere. And the other ones just ended after the date. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't with none of them right now. You know what I'm saying? You done just ran through all this money and really you had about, I just say, because it ain't all about sex, but let's just say you got about 20 good experiences out of 60. That ain't bad. But hell, you could have had a doll out of there that still at, you know, that you ain't never, you know, that's still at your house being your companion. So it's all about what you want. It's all about what you want, though. It ain't about what's better. And man, I was trying to see what Austin meant when he said the amount of I didn't get what he said when he says very true. And you know, as smoking as she is, I have thought about doing precisely that. Thought about doing precisely what? I have no idea what the hell he talking about. What were you thought about precisely doing? So either way, I guess he ain't gonna answer. So with all that said, guys, it's been a great show. Thank you for tuning in. We love you to hit those subscriptions, notifications. I mean, not notifications. We love you to hit those subscriptions, hit the like button, share it through word of mouth. If you're looking for a dog, you can always look at the description of my videos. Like I said, I got affiliate links. They're all legitimate and great. But other than that, me, J-Dog King Hefner, and the beautiful Austin Moon are getting ready to get the hell out of here. Exit stage left. Oh, okay. I'm about to say, because I didn't know what you were saying. Brandon Anderson said, with my ex, okay. Austin finally answered. He says, oh, I'm still here. When you mentioned leaving her around naked. Oh, okay. I about to say, okay, now I about to say, I didn't know what you were saying. So then YouTube Dennis says, yep, get a dog and get your paper up. That's what I'm doing. Similar to monk mode. I'm doing dog mode. I'm gonna be honest, man. That's like I say, that can definitely happen in your life. Once you get the dog, you ain't gonna be, if you ain't in relationships anyway, you ain't gonna see a difference, because guess what? You ain't been dating. So guess what? You ain't saving no money because you haven't been dating a woman anyway. So under those circumstances, you may not see a change in your life. But if you've been a guy that's been dating human women and you've been seeing money leave your pocket from the act of dating, then you are going to see increase going into your pocket. And I'm going to tell you, man, like I say, I've been seeing similarities with, that's another reason this got me like, man, I'm actually loving not having a car. And I never thought I'd be this person. I used to think about that, not having a car before, but now, because, you used to always think about dating and stuff, taking girls, and you're like, you need a car and stuff. So I've always had a car. And plus, you may need to get somewhere far in the city. You need a car. But I always used to think like, man, I just want to, hey, I could probably just bike. But I like taking a morning shower, like being fresh, going to work. But I figured a way out to do that now. I'm like, you know what? I'm letting you know, guys, I may end up with I want a car again just so I can take the girls out sometimes. But for the most part, I'm so happy riding my bike. And I'm like, you know what? It saves so much money. Every time I ride past a gas station or even just out in the streets, I just think about like, man, I don't even have to worry about these high gas prices and things. And I'm thinking about like, man, I'm saving so much money by not having to pay auto insurance and not having to pay $30 and $40 and $50 at the gas tank every 4 or 5 days. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I was thinking about that, just like the whole Campaign Dog saving money thing. I'm thinking like, man, even like this, I'm saving a ton of money. And I'm telling you, I just need to figure out how to ride my bike in all the weathers. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I'm going to be warm and dry in all weather. And I truly, even when I do get another car, I am not going to be riding it very often. The only time you're going to be seeing me in my car is probably when I shoot a video with my girls. Other than that, man, I'm going to be riding my bike. Austin Steers says, YouTube Dennis, right on, brother, because YouTube says get a dog, man, save your money. Stingray says, hail to you, Jay, and God bless your day. You too, Stingray. God bless everybody's day that's out here. I appreciate all of you for tuning in, man. Austin says, sorry, man, family just got a new baby puppy. Had to go take care of her. Oh, okay, he was gone for a second. Oh, okay. I was wondering why you weren't answering. I'm like, man, where Austin at? That's all good. Appreciate you, Austin. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody that tuned in late, man, hey, I appreciate it if you go back and check out, what you might have missed. But I appreciate you for tuning in. God bless you all. Like I always say, whatever you're hoping for, wishing for in this life, health, finances, relationships, we're praying you already have it. Only thing we need you to do is agree, get an agreement, and believe you have it. But it's been a hell of a great discussion. Another show that I was supposed to be doing something else. But we got on a whole nother discussion. So with why you shouldn't spend all your time with a human mate. And I may be back on track for Thursday, because you already know tomorrow is the power hour, baby. So we'll be powering up. But tonight, we powering down. We out of here, man. So it's been good, guys. Love you. From me and Arsenal. Check you tomorrows. Tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. It's only a day away. Have a good one. God bless y'all.